Going to study the topic of simple interest and compound interest. We will identify the difference between the simple interest and compound interest. So first of all, we will discuss simple interest. Now, simple interest is basically interest that is calculated on fixed principal amount. Now, principal amount is the amount that is basically invested, and if you will be calculating interest, then you will be calculating interest on this fixed amount. Suppose I invested 5 rupees in a bank. After the end of 1 year, I will calculate the interest, and the interest on 5 rupees according to the rate of interest will not be added in this in the second year when interest will be calculated again. The amount on which interest will be calculated will be 5 rupees. It will not change. At the end of third year, when you will calculate the interest, the amount, that is the principal amount, will not increase. It will be 5 rupees. So your principal amount is fixed and interest is calculated every year on this. Now we are using a formula for simple interest, and that is this one. I is equal to P RT over 100. P is the principal amount, R is the rate of interest per annum, and T is the time. Time must be in years. If it is not in years, convert it in years. Now we have a question. If $2,000 is invested for 2 years at 6% per annum, calculate simple interest as well as total amount. Now using the formula, P, which is principal amount, is 2000 here, R is rate of interest, which is 6 here, and T is time, which is 2 years, that is divided by 100. On simplification, you will get $240 as interest. Now what is the total amount? When you will add interest in the principal amount, you will get the total amount. Principal amount was 2000, interest was 240, adding them both will be $20 to $40 is the total amount. Now if we are talking about compound interest, the compound interest is different from the principal interest. Let's discuss it with the help of example. We have 5 rupees at the start as a principal investment. So after 1 year, I will compute interest, and suppose my interest is 1 rupee, this one. So when second year will be end, I will again compute the interest. Now at the end of second year, I will be computing my interest on principal amount, and this interest of the previous year will be added in the principal amount. Now I will be computing my interest on this amount, principal amount plus interest of previous year. Then we will calculate the interest for the second year, and in the same way every year interest will be added to the principal amount, and in the next year you will compute the interest on the new amount, that is principal plus interest of the previous year. So here principal amount changes every year because previous year interest is added into it. So that way it is compound interest, and we have a okay, which formula we are going to use? This formula is for compound interest. A is equal to P bracket 1 plus R over 100 raised to the power T. Now T is the time, it should be in years. R is rate of interest, P is your principal amount, A is total amount. This amount includes principal amount as well as interest. We invested $1000 and rate of interest was 6.2, and you have to compute compound interest. We need to calculate amount after 3 years. So we need to find A, that is amount, total amount including principal and interest. P is principal amount, which is $1000. R is rate of interest, which is 6.2, and T is time and in years, it should be in years. Putting the values in the formula, P 1 plus R over 100 into T, not into T raised to the power T. So on simplification, 6.2 will be converted to 62 and 100 will be then converted to 1000, because on removing the decimal you will be adding a 0 in the denominator. Upon simplification, inside the brackets and then raising the answer inside the bracket to power 3 and then multiplying it with 1000, you will get $1197.77 as your total amount. So this was the topic of simple interest and compound interest. So if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, you can subscribe my channel so that you can get updates on all the variety of the topic of maths. Thank you so much.